Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. Today, for Technique Tuesday, we're going to be doing identifying spell and trap cards. Now, this video really isn't for anybody that knows how to play the game. It will be just review for you guys, but if you ever wanted to get your girlfriend, friend, sister, brother, whoever into the game, this might be a very informative video. So basically, I'm going to be dissecting how these cards work, how to identify these cards, and that's basically about it for this video. We're going to be starting off with spell cards, and then specifically normal spell cards. Now, normal spell cards are considered spell speed 1, so you can't chain it to other effects, even to those of other normal spell cards, but can be chained by other spell speed 2 or other spell speed 3 cards. Now, I know that's just completely confused to you guys. Basically, we're going to go about spell speed. We're going to talk about spell speeds in another video, but this can only start a chain. It can't be activated in response to anything. I can't go activate Rekindling when my opponent activates something. I'm sorry. You cannot go Rekindling to your monster's effect. It does not work that way. I know that you guys seen it on TV, but that's not exactly how it works. The turn player may set a normal spell card and activate it on the same turn. Normal spell cards can be activated only by the turn player during their main phase 1 and main phase 2. After the normal spell card resolves, it is sent to the graveyard. Basically, that's exactly how it works. You can only activate it during your main phase 1 or your main phase 2. There's nothing else more to say about that. How you identify normal spell cards is that right by spell cards, it says nothing beside it. That's exactly how you can tell it is a normal spell card. Next, we're going to be going over continuous spell cards. Now, continuous spell cards are spell speed 1, but they stay on the field after they're activated. The effects of a continuous spell cards do not start a chain, but and some do, like, Soul Absorption, Valhalla, cards like that. So, for example, I'm going to activate Fire Formation Tenki, and it's going to add me a Beast Warrior to my hand. Unlike this normal spell card, afterward, it's going to stay on the field. How you can identify continuous spell cards, they're going to have a little continuous symbol, like a sideways 8 on the side of the card. Hopefully you guys could have seen that. Good. Next, we're going to go to the more tricky of the spell cards. It's equipped spell cards. Now, equipped spell cards are a spell card that can be equipped to face up monsters on the field. Equipped spell cards are a type of equip card, and we'll just go into equip cards later because there's more than just equipped spell cards. There's equipped monsters, there's equipped traps, but that's just for a whole different story, okay? When you activate an equipped spell card, you must target a face-up monster on the field to equip the card to. The equipped spell card's effect apply to that monster as long as it is equipped. Equipped spell cards constantly target the monster they are equipped to, even while negated. Equipped cards remain equipped to continue to target the monster. If the equipped monster is no longer face-up on the field, or no longer a valid target, the equipped card is immediately destroyed. Equipped cards can be equipped to monsters controlled by either player, and changing control of that monster does not change the control of an equipped card. So if I decided to activate Wonder Wand on my opponent's monster, Wonder Wand does not go to my opponent's side of the field. It stays right there. That's basically it about equipped cards. Other than while the equipped to the opponent's monster equipped cards while the equipped monster can be to the opponent's, the equipped card's controller is the one referred to you in the equipped card's text, not the controller of the equipped card. Now, I know that just seemed extremely confusing, but there are going to be some equipped spell cards that say you, and not the equipped monster. No matter what the card is equipped to, it affects you and not the controller of the equipped monster. I know, it's a little hard, but once you start reading the cards, you'll get into it. Next, we're going to be doing quick play spell cards. Now, where is my quick play tab? Bam, right there. So, this is a quick play spell card. Oh, I'm sorry. How to identify equipped spell cards. You see a little cross, like right by equipped spell card. That's how you'll be able to identify it. Now, quick play spell cards are the type of spell card that are spell speed 2. They are the only type of spell cards that are considered spell speed 2. Like I said, we'll get into spell speeds in a whole different video, or probably later on in this video. It can be activated during either player's turn, and can be activated from the hand during any phase of their turn. They can also be activated during the opponent's turn if they have been set. So they can be activated during either player's turn. You can activate them during any phase of your turn from your hand. Also, not on your opponent's turn you can activate them. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. Quick play spell cards can be activated during either player's turn. However, they cannot be activated the turn they are set. When a player sets a quick play spell card during their turn, they cannot activate it until the beginning of the opponent's next turn. Quick play spell cards can be chained to other cards. So if my opponent happens to activate an equip spell card on one of their monsters, I can, in response, activate a quick play spell card. This one just so happened to be Book of Moon. And Book of Moon says it flips the monster face down. So the monster will be flipped face down. Since the equipped spell card has to be equipped to a face-up monster, it will be sent to the graveyard, since it has to continuously target a face-up monster. I'm hoping you guys are catching on, because explaining Yu-Gi-Oh! Has always been really hard. Next, we're going to be doing, oh god, how could I forget? How you identify quick play spell cards. You see a little lightning symbol by spell cards. Now, next we're going to be doing, where did that card go? Field spell cards. Now, field spell cards have the advantage of being able to change the entire state for the play of both you and your opponents. Most cards center around a boosting attack or defense or both for cards of specific attributes or types. They are spell speed 1, but many spell speed have different effects that focus on other things than just attack and defense, such as recycling cards, weakening an opponent's monsters, searching monsters, or swarming the field, or even preventing the field from being swarmed. So basically it affects the whole entire board sometimes, because some field spell cards say they affect you only, but for the general idea, field spell cards affect the whole board. They get their own little spell card. They cannot be set in the regular spell and trap card zone. They must be activated or set inside of the field spell card zone, which you will find at your top left corner. Field spell cards, I've already said that. If there was already active, alright, as of right now, for the TCG, if one is already active on either side of the field and another one is activated, the previous field spell card is destroyed by game mechanics. So if I have Harpy's Hunting Ground on the field and my opponent activates their Harpy's Hunting Ground, my Harpy's Hunting Ground is destroyed. That is exactly how it is in the TCG for right now. It is expected to change that both players can have a field spell card. And my knee is just like ashy as who knows what. Another thing about field spell cards, if I activate my field spell card and my opponent has a field spell card, and let's say I activate in response Mystical Space Typhoon to his card's activation, they need to be face up on the field to resolve. The Mystical Space Typhoon will destroy the Harpy's Hunting Ground, and I will be able to keep my Harpy's Hunting Ground, which is my field spell card. That's how they work. Next is the last one, the one that no one really uses, and how you can tell field spell cards is kind of like a little crosshair. It's kind of like equip cards, but the things are slimmer, so that should help. Last being ritual spell cards. Now, ritual spell cards are used to ritual summon monsters on the field and require conditions to be met in order to be activated. The correct ritual spell card in your hand, the corresponding ritual monster in your hand, enough monsters in your hand on your side of the field, or both to satisfy the ritual monster's level requirements to be used as tribute. A free monster card into which to special summon the ritual monster. Now that seems like a lot of text, but I'm just going to break it down one more time. In order to activate the ritual spell card, you need a monster to tribute from your hand or field. You need the correct ritual monster, and the ritual spell card. It sounds like a lot, and that's why they're not played. So basically, that's the gist of ritual spell cards. Now, since we've practically done spell cards in one good fell swoop, we're going to be going over trap cards, and starting off with normal trap cards. Now, all trap cards are considered spell speed 2. I'm just going to let you guys know. This one, normal trap cards can be used in the response to the effects of everything that is classified as spell speed 1, such as effect monsters, spell cards, or even spell speed 2 cards, which include quick effects and all that other stuff. If you guys want to learn about monster effects, which are quick effects, go ahead and click the last Technique Tuesday video 1 about monster effects and how to identify them. It's a little complex, but you'll be able to catch on after a couple watches or so. Normal trap cards have to be set face down and can be activated after the turn you set it. That's basically the gist of trap cards. This one is called Dimensional Prison. I cannot set it and activate it. I have to set it, and it has to wait for a full turn for me to activate it. But the card reads, when my opponent declares an attack, I can activate it and banish the opponent's monster. Really good card we have there. Next will be continuous trap cards, which are actually just like continuous spell cards, for the exception that it's a trap card and all trap cards have to be set and you have to wait for a turn to activate them. Now, continuous trap cards stay on the field after activation. The effects of these cards will remain active until the owner cannot maintain the cost or condition indicated on the card, if there's any, or it is destroyed. For example, we're going to use Vanity's Emptiness. Vanity's Emptiness negates monsters cannot be special summoned while Vanity's Emptiness is facing in the field. But its condition is if any of my cards are destroyed or sent from the decks of the graveyard, if any of my cards are sent from the field or decks of the graveyard, the card itself is destroyed. That is basically the cost of continuous trap cards. They're going to vary a little different from continuous spell cards because they normally have some type of condition or restriction to being on the field. Last, we're going to be doing counter trap cards. Now, counter trap cards are the strongest cards in the game because they are the third variety of trap cards and they're considered spell speed 3. The only thing that can be used in response to a counter trap card is another counter trap card. Counter trap cards can also be activated during the damage step, even if they do not alter attack and defense. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys know that the continuous spell card symbol, like I've been late to show you guys, is the sideways 8. The counter trap card symbol is like a little arrow. It's a shaped arrow. That being said, these back to the counter trap cards, they're the strongest cards in the game. Nothing can be activated in response to them except for them. Now, actually, since we do have a little time, I will go over spell speeds. Now, we're gonna go into exactly what I said. Fire Formation, Tenki, Wonder Wand, Rekindling, Harpy's Hunting Ground, Ritual. This should be a good order for you guys. So, Ritual spell cards, field spell cards, normal spell cards, equipped spell cards, and continuous spell cards are all considered spell speed 1. You can only activate one at a time. You cannot activate any of these cards in response to another card. So I can't activate Fire Formation Tenki, and then in response to that, my opponent cannot activate something like Wonder Wand or Rekindling or Dispel of any of that. They have to be the first card to be activated. Now, cards like regular trap cards, like the normal trap cards or continuous trap cards, or even quick play spell cards, can be activated in response to any of these spell cards